as you said, I'm from India, of course. Kind of quite visible from my face where I'm from. Uh, yeah, I've been in Atlanta for last nearly 8 years now, and loving so far. I've had a background in system engineering for 4 years in Infosys. Before this, left there, came here, and been with G&D for last 8 years in Atlanta. I was born and brought up in Bhopal, in a small town called Baragar. Mostly studied there, did my high schooling there, pretty close to my house. And yeah, since then, been moving around from Pune to Mysore, back to Pune, and then finally to United States. Actually, credit work needs to start when you get here. It doesn't have to wait till you find a job. There are certain banks which offer you no SSN credit cards for students. You have to find. PNC was one for us back in the day. Do they still offer it? I don't know. But the problem is, it's a chicken and egg kind of a problem in US. To have a good credit, you need to have a credit card, and to have a credit card, you need to have a good credit. How do you start that? Like when you don't have anything here. You just came here, you just have a bunch of documents for your immigration, and you have no idea how to proceed on that. So we found out as a college group, college gave us a lot of tips on that, how to approach during our orientation, which was really helpful, and I'm sure other colleges do as well. But if they don't, there are banks that offer you student accounts. That doesn't require SSN right off the bat, but it helps you build that initial part of the credit. And once you get a job, then other banks open up because now you have your SSN. Very limited, but there is some credit history tied to it already because of your bank account that you created with PNC or some other bank. Right. So once you get your SSN, you can go for the top tier banks, which is Chase Bank, Bank of America, what I went with, and you can get a proper credit card from it. But building a credit history is a slow, grueling process. Really slow process. I came in January and I got my first credit card in January with PNC. That was a student one. In April, by the time, because March, I had my student assistantship. So I had to create my SSN. You can't get a paycheck without an SSN. So I had to get my SSN. And once I had my SSN, I went with Bank of America. And a big piece of advice, keep your credit cards. Don't close them. Your credit history goes away with your oldest credit card. So don't ever do that. That's the biggest piece of advice I have. People made mistakes. They closed off their PNC credit card. That's a few years worth of credit history they had on their card with no black marks, no black flags or anything. You just closed that credit history. That was a good history that you closed off. Never do that. So I don't use a lot of credit cards anymore from back in the day, but I still keep them around because it just helps build that credit history over the years. And it's a slow process. Nothing you can do. You can keep your payments in time. You can do everything. But even on my credit history, it's over 800. And even one thing is just average, the age of the oldest credit account. Nothing I can do. Years are going to come and it's going to improve. But before that, I have nothing I can do about that. And that plays a major part. So as soon as you come in, start that process. It doesn't have to wait till you get a job. Oh, there are a lot of steps after that, depending how much you make. That's the start, because salaries vary. It's like I said, it's not like India. Everybody gets into Infosys, everybody has the same paycheck, right? Everybody just hires as a bulk herd. They get 3 lakhs or whatever now number is. They just get that. Here, it's different because you are now in masters. So let's say even if you come as an undergrad, you will get paid differently based on your interview and based on how you can negotiate during an interview for yourself. It depends. I was paid handsomely well from day one. So that kind of gave me a little bit of edge how I want to manage my expenses a little bit better. What I would say for managing expenses when you get a job, start your 401k day one. I know we have loans to settle, we have everything to do, but 401k is your retirement plan. The sooner you start, the bigger it gets when you are 50, 55, 65. And that's a lot of money tax-free that goes into that. Tax are quite hefty here as well. It's not something, when I look at my paycheck, I almost cry. How much tax I'm paying to the government. So any amount of money you can save it. Do that. You have other options as well. I put every paycheck, I put $100 into HSA account, health savings account. And that pays off handsomely because your company pays a part of it, you pay a part of it, and accumulates into something bigger, which allows you to get whatever need you might have. Now, that's only specific to medical expenses, but people have to realize that's a tax-free money. If you're paying 20-30% taxes, that's 30% benefit just saving there. And you're going to have medical expenses one day or the other. I'm not even talking about hospital expenses. You can buy a freaking Boro Plus with the HSA account. Now, that Boro Plus came tax-free. That's something to look forward to. Everybody has their cosmetic expenses, other expenses that relate to that HSA health domain, basically, and that you can use, and that's tax-free. So that's my advice. Start your 401k, start your HSA. That has to be first priority because that's tax saving right away. So more tax you can save, the lower bracket of the federal tax bracket you are in the slab you are in, the lower taxes you pay, it will save you a lot of money. And if you have something left, then there are a lot of other investment options out there. Acons, your personal investment, mutual funds, ETFs. So you can explore that idea when you get here. But start with that. Like I started 401k year later. I should not have. My friends started 7 years later. Now they're regretting it. They shouldn't have done that because they're trying to live a happy life and not think about their future. 401k is not about thinking about a future. 401k, just think right now how much money you're saving in tax. Only 3% additional money gets into your 401k account, plus your company pays 3%, matches your amount by 3%. And company won't do that till you put in 6%. So you are actually leaving money on the table that company is offering you if you don't save for your own retirement. So there is an incentive to save for a retirement. So just cash in on it. Yeah. When you get into a college, your college provides something because it's mandatory for any international immigrant, non-immigrant visa category, F1, H1, whatever. It's mandatory for us to have a health insurance. We are not applicable for Obamacare, the Medicaid, as they call it. We are not part of that because we cannot be those is meant for citizens.
Right.
So we are supposed to have our insurance. Couple of ways to go about that. First was through your college. They will give you a very comprehensive plan for a student that covers a broad variety of coverage for you. Now that's going to set you back. They will add it into a tuition, which they did for me for the first semester. And that is not cheap because it adds about $1,100 to $1,200 per semester. We had 3 of them. So that's a lot of money. What we did was, and we kind of banged that we will be in good health throughout the year. We went with the cheapest option available in the market for international students, which was at that time ISO insurance or something it was called. That was only $300 a year compared to $3,000 what it would have cost me through college. And I did not know when I got here. I signed up with college thinking, okay, that's the right thing to do because that's my only way to do it. When I got here, a lot of people had already signed up because they had some friends in the US. They told them what I'm telling right now, go with the cheapest. Would I recommend it? Hard to say. If you have any problems, if you have a medical thing that you think might come up, and unfortunate circumstances do come up sometimes, and I'm going to explain that, but it's a judgment call. You want to save money or you want to be assured for your health. Right. So in ISO, you're not going to get the coverage you need. You're going to rack up a bill. If you end up in a hospital, you're going to rack up a bill as big as your tuition. Healthcare is extremely expensive in US without insurance. And ISO insurance is just a legal document to tell the government, yes, I had insurance throughout the year. It doesn't cover much. It's just basically a scapegoat till you find a job and an employer gets you a good insurance. Okay. Save some money while in the process. I took that option. Would I recommend it? It's person to person. I was in good health back in the day even, so I kind of took the risk. It was a gamble. It turned heel on somebody I know, Utkarsh. He racked up a bill of $14,000-$15,000 in the hospital. Lucky enough, he did not have any job, so state government waived off a lot of it, so he got off easy. That may not be the case because he had found a job. He did not have the first paycheck, so he got lucky. A month later, he would have had to pay every single dime of it. And that kind of a money is a lot of money. When you're trying to save every single dollar, you end up with a $20,000 medical bill. It's half of your tuition. Like, it's now no joke how expensive healthcare can get in this country. So it's a judgment call. Based on your current health condition and how confident you are, you're going to keep yourself fit throughout the year.